Hey, my name is Dev. I've been a serious guitarist for over 3.5 decades. I want to help you improve on what I think is the coolest instrument in the world, the guitar. Today is going to be the first in a 3-video series of how to practice feel, whatever the heck that might mean to you. But we talk about feel all the time when we're watching other guitarists, listening to them. Oh, listen to how great her feel is. Oh, the way he played that felt so good. But I don't see people practice it very often. In fact, I see my friends, my peers, my students all practice scales, they'll study music theory, note choices and stuff like that, but very rarely do I see them actually practice feel on the guitar. So we're going to do 3 videos on that. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the other ones. This one's going to be all about articulation. So that's things like slides, and bends, and vibrato, right? So we're going to start with a very simple, I should mention the next 2 videos are going to be on intensity, like how hard you can play the notes and different ways to do that, and speed. They're not really going to be about note choices, they're more about the mechanical aspects of how you can practice feel. So let's start with a really simple phrase, and we'll apply all of our options to that phrase. We'll do something in B minor, so I'm basically going to be in the B minor pentatonic box. I'll be like in this area. I'm going to add that second. So we'll do something like maybe something very simple like that, right? That's the phrase with no articulation. The easiest and kind of lowest hanging fruit to begin adding articulation is to do some vibrato. And the best or the most simple place to apply that is to notes that are ringing out. So let's try applying some vibrato. The first and last note because they're the longest. Now, I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone other than me really just sit down and practice their vibrato. I literally did this for maybe 3 minutes one day, and it made a massive difference in how my playing sounds and feels. So what I did was I would just choose a note and try different vibrato things on them all over the neck. So there I chose a D, and I'm just playing D notes, different octaves, different places. And we've got a lot of options, right? We can do the Zakk Wylde, or we can do, where I ended up was, what I like to do is play the note, and then the longer the note rings, the more I add vibrato to it. So as the volume of the note tapers off, the vibrato itself becomes more accentuated. And that small revelation that I had impacted my playing for, the last 30 or so years. So let's apply that to our phrase here. I think it adds a lot. It's subtle, but you can absolutely hear it and you can feel it. Ooh, you can feel it. And that's for what we're shooting, right? That's what we're practicing here, is feel. So let's try a couple other things with vibrato. So this is our basic vibrato with our fingers. And if you haven't done this before, go ahead and pause this now. Just take a couple minutes, literally like 2 minutes, and just choose, I just use D there, play a B note or a D note or something, even in one spot, and just practice listening to like how it sounds, how it feels, taking different approaches to it. Now, let's take a look at other ways that we can use vibrato. We've got our basic one here. And when we're doing our vibrato with our fingers like that, we've got the note that we're playing, and every time we do the vibrato, what we're effectively doing is a bend, and we're moving the note up a little bit, so it looks like this. If we use, in my case, it's a Bigsby. You might have a whammy bar or something like that on your guitars. You can see I love Bigsby's. They're on almost all my guitars. I did a video on doing a Bigsby transplant specifically for this guitar. I'll put a card up here in the link in the description if you want to check that out. But one of the things I love about using vibrato with this is that we also have, unlike our fingers, which only goes up, we can dip down by pressing the bar, or if you've got a Bigsby or something that's kind of floating, you can both pull up and pull down. So I can go in both directions, and I can get a nice even flutter in both directions. That feels really great to me, and I use that all the time. And I will say that one of the great things about having The Bigsby in particular, it's just a big spring right here, and it feels really comfortable for me, and I can do that on top of chords. And that is a massive part of how I play. But let's try this with our normal tremolo, or our normal vibrato, and then I'll try it with the Bigsby. Now let's try it with the Bigsby. Very subtle difference, but you can absolutely feel it. And yeah, that's for what we're shooting, right? That's what we're practicing, is feel. Next, let's take a look at how we can approximate that nice even vibrato that goes both above and below the given note, but with just our fingers. Then you can do that just by bending up to the note by a half step below. So instead of, we'll do. Now, it definitely gives a totally different feel, but yeah, that's what we're shooting for, right? Is feel. And the perception of it is like, oh, we're getting to that note, but we got there in a little bit of a different way. I find that this has a very like vocal sound to me. And one of the other things that I will do to that, well, I guess, let me do that one more time. You can see what I did there was I kind of slid to the note and I did the bend at the same time. That's a very common thing that I'll do. And it's almost like a throaty sound that happens there, that lets everyone know, like, this is an important note, or I'm accentuating this in some specific way. Now let's take a look at one other thing that we're going to do, which is just kind of raking through the strings. This is a huge part of how I play, and people ask about this all the time. Well, other guitarists, I should say, ask about this pretty regularly, because I think people think of muting as something that you do with funk chords. But I will use it as just an approach to a note. So we'll take this note that we're bending a half step in. And let's combine a couple more of those things where all I'm doing there is I'm just muting the strings above. I can combine that bend with the Bigsby, and I get all kinds of really fun stuff happening here. Now let's add a quick hammer-on in there somewhere. Oh, actually I did a slide there, but that would also work. I could do a hammer-on there instead. That's probably my favorite, and just this simple thing. I even reached for the Bigsby there, it was such a habit, has now become something much cooler. Now, the gold standard for this, for me and many other guitarists, is the intro for Purple Haze. Try playing that without any of the articulation, and so much of the magic is gone. It sounds robotic. I can't even not. You saw there I did a little bit of a vibrato because it's really begging for it. But I will see a lot of people early in their guitar journey play it like that and be like, oh, I can play Purple Haze. And I always just kind of want to stop them and say, like, that's awesome that you've learned this, but you're missing a lot of the small things that are happening with the music. Just in those first 4 notes, we've got a slide, a little accent bend, and a vibrato. In that part, without the slides, I can't even do it without the vibrato. It loses so much of what makes it special, what makes it sound good and feel good. And once you get used to adding these types of articulations to your playing, you can really pick and choose how you want to accent a specific note or a specific package. So this was, like I said, the first of 3 videos. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything else. There's also, I did a whole video on bends, so I'll put, again, a card up here and a link in the description for that if you want to do a deep dive into how to practice and improve your bends. And also in the description is a link to my Patreon, which is completely free. It gives you early access to this and to videos like this, as well as exclusive content. Keep jamming out there. Have some fun with it. Hope to see you soon.